Hey guys, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here. And today I want to talk about Cambridge Analytica because it's back in the news and apparently it's way worse than we had originally thought or had been led to believe. Now, if you remember Cambridge Analytica from the 2018 Facebook data mining scandal, we found out that Cambridge Analytica was scraping user information from Facebook on US voters, building psychographic profiles on them, and then selling them to pretty much any political candidate that wanted to use that for their targeted marketing. So Ted Cruz, in his Senate race prior to the 2016 election, was using Cambridge Analytica, I believe it was around 2015. The Trump administration, through Steve Bannon, when he was running President Trump's, then candidate Trump's presidential election, was using Cambridge Analytica. And this all came to light. This is what sparked congressional hearings for Mark Zuckerberg, and on and on and on. But now we have some more information, and this comes from multiple sources, including Democracy Now!, The Guardian, the Associated Press, etc., but a new trove, basically tens of thousands of documents of internal Cambridge Analytica documents and emails are now being posted on Twitter, which is detailing the company's operations, including its work with President Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton. The documents come from Cambridge Analytica whistleblower Brittany Kaiser, who worked at this firm for 3.5 years. Cambridge Analytica, apparently, according to this information that just got dumped, also worked to manipulate voters across the globe, from the 2016 election in the United States to the Brexit campaign in Britain, and also elections in 68 other countries, including Malaysia, Kenya, Brazil, and on and on and on. Now, these unpublished documents contain material that suggests the firm was working for a political party in the Ukraine in 2017, even while it was under investigation as part of Robert Mueller's inquiry, into the whole President Trump Ukraine thing. And emails that Brittany Kaiser says describe how the firm helped to develop, and I quote, sophisticated infrastructure of shell companies that were designed to funnel dark money into politics. Now, these documents come from Brittany Kaiser, as I mentioned, and I think they're very interesting. Now, to quote her, from various sources, I quote Ms. Kaiser, these are all documents from my time at Cambridge Analytica. I worked at the company for over 3 years. So it's internal communications and negotiations for data-driven communication projects all around the world. It's proposals, contracts, and case studies of what has been done to intervene in democracy. I continue with Ms. Kaiser, and I quote again, there's evidence of really quite disturbing experiments on American voters, manipulating them with fear-based messaging, targeting the most vulnerable. That seems to be continuing. This is an entire global industry that's out of control, but what this does is lay out what's happening with this one company. Now, I find this absolutely interesting in the sense that we have a massive amount of data mining going on, whether it's, I would say, for lack of a better term, legitimate data mining that you opt into when Google and Facebook and all of that collected. But there's also a lot of third parties that, specifically Facebook and Google as well, have let in basically to their system to scrape information, to gather this information. And as we are looking at this entire age of information warfare, and we are looking at deepfake videos, which Facebook has just come out and said, yeah, we're not going to allow deepfake videos on Facebook. I'm curious to know how they're going to be policing that. I'm assuming through artificial intelligence and other things. We have a perpetual problem with basically playing on, let's say, a voter's fear and all of that. Now, a lot of these documents have been proven to be actually correct. Ms. Kaiser actually turned over quite a bit of this to the British Parliament in their investigation a couple of years ago. And some of this information is coming from her equipment and all of that. So it doesn't seem like a foreign country, for example, would be manipulating this and blowing the Cambridge Analytica scandal out of context or way out of proportion. It actually seems that Cambridge Analytica has been doing all of this stuff, and they've been doing it under various names, shell companies, all this kind of thing. And that's a very serious problem that we have. I don't know if we're going to get, ultimately to the bottom of this, but I think this really underscores a problem that we have. We don't necessarily know when our data is being shared. I literally will be on television probably in the next week or two. I just did an interview for Jesse Ventura's TV show regarding the California Consumer Privacy Act, which gives people the ability to go to the Facebooks and Googles of the world, as well as smaller sites, and say, what data do you have on me? And please delete it. But at this point, for a lot of us, the damage has already been done. And I think that's something that we really need to address. Our information is out there, and it's not like you're going to change your stripes all of a sudden because everybody knows, all of your information. So, if you like pizza, for example, you're not going to suddenly start hating it just because Cambridge Analytica has that data. You are who you are. And that's out there. In the same way, if you take a DNA test, a DNA company has your DNA, and you've basically given up that right. And so where do we go from here? I think that's an interesting question that we're going to need to answer with this, but I think we also need to address Cambridge Analytica. One of the problems that we have is political advertising, whether it's from the candidates themselves or third parties that support one political candidate or another. There's no reason why those couldn't be sculpted and targeted to specific demographics, that have been scraped. And I'm not talking about, are you a man or a woman, what race are you or religion and all of that. It could simply be that your psychographic profile says you are more fearful of, let's say, authoritarian government, or you're more fearful of a democracy, or, whatever that is. And then you start getting advertising that confirms your worst fears on one of these platforms. This is what we're talking about, and I think that's a very serious thing that we need to discuss. And I'm not going to ramble anymore on this, but those are the facts with Cambridge Analytica, and I think that we are going to learn a lot more as this comes out, and as a lot of journalists start to actually go through this trove of files. They got posted on Twitter, and the handle is @HindsightFiles. You can go take a look yourself. And quite frankly, it's a little terrifying and a whole lot of damning to basically what Facebook has allowed companies like this to do. And I think that's a very serious issue. Facebook already is spinning, saying that the whole Cambridge Analytica thing is snake oil and all this kind of stuff. But we're going to see where this goes. And I'm hoping that there's going to be repercussions of this, and we'll see where this is. But that is your news of the day, and hopefully we're not going to be as affected as I fear. So take that for what it's worth. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.